Welcome back to the fourth episode of Militia Madness MTG. Today in our mid-range matchup, because that's what we're trying to theme these, barring the first video. The first video was just like, decks we wanted to play, but I'll put more about the theme in the description that you've already read already. So today I'm playing white-black Firja, Judge of Valor, which is kind of a combination of two pauper decks. The mono-white Korskyfisher stuff, and then the black artifact sacrifice stuff. You'll see more of what I mean in a minute. But Firja, two white black, flying lifelink 2/4, and then she has this ability that whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you look at the top 3 cards of your library, you put one of them into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. I said library instead of hand. Don't worry about it. But just in general, it's just a good mid-range creature. It wears a certain buff that we'll get to in a minute. So the first 2 cards I want to talk about are the Inspectors. I've been white. I don't feel like I need to explain these cards. I think it's interesting. I think most white decks are going to want to play these, especially decks that are packing Korskyfisher, and I am. There's a new one. City Pigeon? Is that the one? I'm not on that because I don't care about getting a food. But it is a card you can play. We're on just, I think, 3 of the discard cards because I wanted to make room for some new cards from the Spider-Man set. Well, new as of the filming of this. I wanted to make room, so I cut one of the 2 drops. But all of these just, when they enter the battlefield, they make your opponent discard a card or exile a card. They're all pretty interchangeable. This is an artifact. Relevant. Kind of. Spirit of Companion and Dusk Legion Zealot are just 2 mana ways to just draw cards. I wish I was in green-white so I could play...
Elvish Visionary?
Elvish Visionary is the old one. The Gallant Citizen?
Oh, Gallant Citizen.
Yeah, it's the new one from Spider-Man. Inspiring Overseer and Priest of the Ancient Lore. Again, this is just so I can get a 4 of to draw cards. This gains life. These both gain like 1 life, which is not like super relevant. But again, if I could play more 2-mana ones, I would. It's just I can't. So I have to play 3-mana ones. This flies, too, which is relevant for certain land in my deck. Holy cow! Best named Magic card of all time. This is the worst one. Absolutely, this is one of the worst cards I'm playing. But it flies, which is another way to close the game. Just flyers in this deck in general come into premium. And being able to scry 1 and gain 2 is not the worst thing, but the second they make a better target, Holy Cow is probably going out to pasture. But it's there. Accursed Marauder. This card is I don't think we've ever seen this card in a main deck yet, or see it get played. But this card's nuts. This card is absurd. Getting over tokens means that Murmuring Mystics are not safe anymore, or Tolarian Terrors after you've already killed their Murmuring Mystic aren't safe anymore. So just being able to have that is really good. I'm on the Monarch Package main deck because I'm on a lot of creatures. So I don't really fear the Monarch fight in the same way that other decks have. It's just they're really good. It's also to fuel this. Militia Bugler. I talked about it a little bit in Arabella, but I hate this card secretly, but it's just too good not to play. And I'm always conscious of when I build decks with Militia Bugler of not whiffing. And so far, all of my cards that I've shown are a hit off of it. It can also hit Korskyfisher, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it's just really, really good. Vigilance is also the second best thing that you can put a land buff on, because you can attack, make it big, attack, and then you have a blocker behind. So it's not terrible that way. I'm actually going to talk about that card in a second. We have Korskyfisher. I've talked about this in Arabella, about that being an aggro deck. This is more of a mid-range deck, but it's just still really good. Picking up a Monarch creature so you can lay it back down, or picking up a discard creature so you can attack their hand again, picking up a Craw Draw spell. This just functions as ways of another Ephemerate or a Flicker effect that comes with a really significant body. 2/3 flyer is no joke in this format. And then the other card we're on is a Spider-Man Webslinger. I don't know how I feel about this card yet in this deck, but it makes things like Holy Cow better because they fly. So just being able to attack in, do some damage, bounce it back, and then you get the ETB thing off of this again, and you put a 3/3 into play. It's just really, 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 really good. I think this card's good. I think bold claims here cut to like 3 months from now where it's like, no one plays this card. But I think this is going to be one of the more impactful, especially white cards in the new set. So, and then I'm on Land Cyclers because it's me. This can get a utility land. I'm not on... Spoiler alert, I'll let you know now. I'm not on Idyllic Grange. I don't make a habit of playing that card unless I'm in mono white and it's free. I just don't think Idyllic Grange is very good. Although, again, there are a lot of flyers, so maybe putting the counter there is okay. But I just don't think... What are your opinions on Idyllic Grange? You just...
Generally pretty bad unless you are
I think it's the worst of that cycle. I think I've played in decks all of them other than that one.
I think the Gingerbread House a lot of the time is worse unless you have a specific way to force it, like get value from it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's really like the blue one's the best, but
yeah, that's banned.
See our ban list. The black one's okay, like being able to put things back on top and like recur stuff is okay. And the red one, I've played the red one in most red decks, just because again it's free. Spoiler alert: these might be cards that we're both on, but. The sacrifice a creature clause for us is not... Yeah, we're both on them. The... Morgan flashing me their deck over there. The sacrifice a creature clause is not irrelevant in this deck. Because a lot of times you'll have like a Thraben Inspector that's just lying around doing nothing. All right, cash in the Thraben Inspector for 2 mana, draw 2 cards. You know, that's perfectly fine to do. We do still have a couple of value artifacts that like do stuff and all this kind of stuff. We'll talk about those later. Value artifacts like Ichor Wellspring, the classic, where you turn these into Ancestral Recall. Same with Mephitic Draft. And then we have some other like value ones like Limbus. Technically, it doesn't lose you advantage because it'll shuffle back in. And then Carrot Cake. This guy comes with Carrot Cake. We'll talk about your favorite guy in a minute. Carrot Cake is another one where it doesn't shuffle back in, but it just leaves you with a body and a scry. So all of these are just like pretty bog standard. Some of them are lower tier, like regular pauper decks would just be on like these, and they wouldn't touch these. Although Limbus gets some play, but people are typically never going near Carrot Cake. I need targets. Speaking of targets, this is Living Phone. Now, if you don't remember what Living Phone does, it's a Militia Bugler when it gets sacrificed, when it dies.
I hate it.
Yeah, Morgan's not a fan of this card. I really, really like it. It's one of those things where it's like I wanted one more target, both for Militia Bugler to hit, which is a 2/1. It can hit off Militia Bugler. And I wanted another artifact that did something when I sacrificed it. I wanted like 5. And this was just like the 5th best one. It can also just attack. I just wanted more creatures in my deck. Because I lose a lot of value when I'm not attacking with creatures. So, I also have, really quickly, the 2 new artifacts from Spider-Man. This one, you can kind of feel okay sacrificing. Like, you don't want to, but again, they're just more targets. But being able to put a counter on your Firja, draw a card for a white mana is really, really good. And being able to just gain life and draw a card is just really, really good, too. It's not that any one thing these cards are doing is very powerful. Like, 2 mana draw card is not that great. 2 mana 4 mill a card, put a creature back is not that great. But these just help you recycle resources or just gain life or draw cards, or they just do a lot for one card. So that's why I'm on them. Another artifact we're on is this Navigation Orb. So the reason we're on Navigation Orb specifically is our deck is full of a bunch of weenies. Just like 2/1s and 3/2s and 1/2s and the gate we search up, I'll get to in our Lana base. But this is like how we win the game, is being able to find that card specifically. Our Land Cyclers can sometimes put away games. That's another reason we could do. Or like sometimes against like really, really slow control decks, we could just go 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, kill you. That kind of stuff. But this is for like the other mid-range matchups that get a card that they can't beat. And we can go over the top. Very small flicker package, very contained flicker package. Reason being is that we don't care. We're not a flicker deck. We're just using these to get value, and they do that. on the two mana ones, and then this is a creature that can sometimes get value. This is also triggers when a permanent leaves, not gets exiled. So when you crack your navigation orb, this triggers. When you crack your artifacts from the Spider-Man set, this triggers. When you crack a clue from your inspectors, this triggers. So this has a lot more triggers than I think people think it does. But this card's very, 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 very good. Tithing Blade and Kingpin's Pet, Guardian of the Guild Pact, and Tithe Drinker. These all kind of function as like what I would say are win conditions. This is like a win condition that gets control decks, and often gets sided out. But it also doubles as like just a removal spell for stuff, which is nice. But these are more realistically of how we're winning the game. We're just extorting them out with these. Also, again, this has flying. This is protection from monocolored, so these both wear the buff really, really well too. This has a lifelink, which is another way of like getting back into the game. But yeah, this is generally how we're winning games. Or this. This card wins games too. We're very constrained in our main deck, so we only get to play like 2 removal spells. The reason I'm on Go for the Throat and not Cast Down is because it's a meta call against specifically Spider-Man cards entering the format. There are a lot of common legendary creatures, plus we just have more removal on the board available to us, plus we just don't need that much removal. Like a lot of the times, like a Tellurian Terror is attacking us, who cares? You know, we're going to outgrind them and gain the life back with a Basilisk Gate and a lifelinker anyway, so it just doesn't really super matter. But yeah, they're very interchangeable. You could play both. You could play this. I chose to play this. And then 4 swamps, 4 plains, sorry. 5 swamps, lands. We're on a couple of artifact lands to help with just the artifact package. They're also free to play, so we're doing that. In a pinch, you can sacrifice them. The 2 dual lands, because they're duals. The 1 Witch's Cottage, which I talked about earlier. This can get Troll of Khazad-dûm. This is just really, really decent. And then we're on Orzhov Guild Gate, Black Dragon Guild Gate, Citadel Gate, Heap Gate, and the best of the bunch is Basilisk Gate. This is a Basilisk Gate deck through and through. In regular Pauper, it's like Call Gates, except I'm not playing Squadron Hawk, because that card is a 1-of, is terrible. And I'm not playing Sacred Cat, because it's bad. And I have like more flexibility with my lifelinkers. Really, the only one of note is Basilisk Gate. This card is nuts. You stick it on your commander and you just start getting 4 turn, and like a lot of decks just can't come back from that. Yeah, I mean, it's a Basilisk Gate. I don't know like what you want to say about it. It's very, very good. That's it for the main deck. The side deck, we have 2 ETB life gainers against the burn decks or more aggressively slanted decks and just things in general. This is a 1/3, this is a 2/1. 1/3 blocks lots of stuff. You'd be surprised. Gift of Orzhova is kind of our way of going over other mid-range decks and control decks. Is just lifelink is just really, really good against those decks a lot of the times. Standard Bearer and Coalition Honor Guard we bring in against the removal heavy decks a lot of the times, because we don't want our Basilisk Gate target dying, and we don't care if these do. So they're really, really good against red too, because if they point removal spells at your face, if they point removal spells at your guys, they're not going towards your face. And then we have just a brief, what I would call like a reanimation package that I bring in against other mid-range decks or control decks. Just making your guys come back and draw another card or make them discard another card or stuff like that is just really, really valuable. But the reason they're in the sideboard, not the main board, is it's just not good against every deck. Like, some decks, like, oh, cool, I unearthed the Thraben Inspector. Woo! You know, it doesn't really matter. But in other decks, just being able to do that is really, really good. We have a Snuff Out, or a Beholder's Death Ray. I'm a sucker for weird arts. So this is Snuff Out. Moving on. Crypt Rats is just another way of, like, dealing with elves or big token boards or stuff like that. You can play Arms of Adar, but I'm on Militia Bugler. And Militia Bugler, when it reveals Arms of Adar, you feel real sad. And then you put the Arms of Adar on the bottom. You don't do that with Crypt Rats. Plus, Crypt Rats can hit numbers that Arms of Adar can't. theoretically. Run a Thraben Charm, just as very versatile removal. Kills creatures, kills enchantments, wipes graveyards. Very good. Run a Forsake the Worldly because I owned it. White has like so many of these effects. It really doesn't matter. If you want to play a 2-mana one, you can play a 2-mana one. If you want to go more on the exiling artifacts, you can play Ash to Ashes. It's just white gets so many naturalizes, disenchant effects that it's just like whatever. I valued exiling them sometimes is relevant, but whatever. Nihil Spellbomb, just a way to get more ways of interacting with the graveyard. Chainer's Edict is an edict. It's the best edict in our format, I think by a wide margin. If you're just looking for an edict to kill creatures, this 2-for-1's them. It's really, really good against other mid-range decks that want to force you to play really, really long. Then Fairy Macabre on the sideboard because I wanted another little bit of graveyard hate that I can hit off of Militia Bugler. So we have it. This also has flying. So Basilisk Gate can target this and you can just kill people. I've won lots of games off of Hardcast Fairy Macabre because of that. Yeah, that's it. Tune in later in the week where Morgan will be decking a different deck. See ya.